Good morning, Mick Harrison. Here we are, and you're in your garage, and I'm in the guest bedroom. This is 2020.
Good morning. Yeah, this is the way things happen now. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, you have. What are you drinking this morning?
Coffee, just regular straight coffee.
You don't put any cream or sugar in there?
No, actually I do, but I mean, I figured you were alluding to like some Baileys or something.
Oh,
No, it's just cream and sugar. Just to keep
uh,
it going.
I'm drinking black tea, and you're looking good. You have a nice bright spot shining on you,
Hey, see, that's the plan.
and that's the name of your new record, Bright Spot.
That's right. That's the plan. Hopefully that's going to work out. It is a bright spot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I actually really like that name as a record because in 2020, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been kind of messed up.
Oh yeah, I caught on to that. I caught on to that. And seriously, it was like, we've been working on this record for a pretty good while. So we already had the songs and stuff. And it was like, when all this stuff happened, it's like, man, we need to make at least some kind of relevant title out of this. So we already had Bright Spot, and that seemed to fit. Hopefully, I mean, for me, this record's a bright spot.
Has it been like, and I think a lot of people are starting to talk about this, that creating in 2020 is the bright spot. Like, it's the one thing you can go to like for some joy.
Yeah, and it really is because, well, that's about all anybody's got time to do now. I mean, it's like, or not time to do. That's what they can do. There's no shows, obviously. So, man, I'll sit in this garage and write some songs. I'll catch up a little bit. I'll have some in stock when we can go out and play them.
And I got to say, just like, on the first listen, I was like, this is a rock and roll, four to the floor. We're not messing around. Let's go for it kind of record. Was that intentional or just come out that way?
It's kind of intentional. I mean, this time around, we're doing three songwriters. It's not just me or just me and Trosper. Trosper's got a few songs on it. Kevin Abernathy's in the band. He's got some songs on it. And so with those two guys, both of them playing guitar, there's no way it couldn't be a rock record.
Yeah, and what's it like having three songwriters, three just top-notch songwriters?
It's great. I mean, we got plenty of songs now, that's for sure. Everybody's got, that's the one thing. When you get three songwriters in a band, there could be jealousy and competition. And a wee bit of competition is always good. And I think that's where we're at. I think we, hey, I wrote this song. Well, dadgummit, check this out. I wrote this song, and it just keeps piling up, which is great.
Yeah, I think a lot of my favorite records have a little competition between the chief songwriters, like even in like the Beatles or a band like XTC or something like that, where someone's trying to top somebody else, and but it all works out for the common good.
Yeah, and hopefully, it has, at least on Bright Spot. I mean, right now everybody seems to be gelling, and we're just gonna keep on writing, and by the time, hopefully by the time this is over with, which could be a while, we'll have a whole bunch of songs. We'll figure it out. We'll put another record out.
And Don Coffey Jr. doesn't write,
but he does almost everything else. No, he's been awesome. I mean, number one, he's a great drummer, and between him and Robbie Trosper, he did engineering. So did Don, but Don did all the mixing. It's definitely an in-house situation on this. We only had a couple of people outside of the band or group that helped us out. And so, I mean, number one, I'm pretty proud of that. And doing it in a birdhouse, which you know how that feels. So
yeah, we have a common space, so to speak. So yeah. For people that don't know, there's a house in Fourth and Gill. It's been there for a long time, but it's sort of been like a musician central location called the Birdhouse. And I used to rehearse there with Ape Life and record there. and we got it from I guess Scott Carpenter, who was in there before with his band. What was it like recording in this space? Were there challenges? Were there pluses and minuses?
There were definitely challenges. Well, mainly like, just bleed. I mean, you'll be going there, okay, this is it, man. This sounds great. And a train goes through. Or somebody comes, or somebody comes up the hall and just making all kind of racket and bleeds in on your kick drum. So yeah, there was definitely some challenges on that, but it's also I think it's some good vibes in there, and I know that word is thrown around a lot when it's like, oh boy, that kind of sucks. Well, that's got a good vibe to it. There is some good vibes in that house, and you know that.
Yeah, and let me ask you about the first three tunes to me are like, it's like left, right, left. They're just like really strong, great performances. I mean, I think the recording itself sounds fantastic. And so tell me about those first three tunes, Let the Motor Run, Leaning on the Shoulder, and Rolling. How did you come up with those tunes, and how do you choose the lead off hitter? That's always a tough one for me.
Oh yeah. I've been struggling with that for probably at least the last year, and it was one of those deals. It's like, well, we don't have the other lead guitar on it. So it's like, I don't know where to put it yet. And just kept on going and going and going. Well, it's not mastered yet. I'm going to wait till it's mastered, and then we'll see what the lineup is then. And, but the whole time I've been like, if best case scenario, if they're everything I want, then it's like, I know which one's going to hit lead off, which one's going to be clean up, all that stuff. But yeah, the first song, that was probably, I wouldn't say the oldest, but that's when I wrote like for my mom, actually, because she's had a couple of years off recently, but my dad had Alzheimer's, my aunt died of cancer, my grandmother died not that long ago, and my mom was a caretaker for all of them. So when she got done, she's wore out. I kind of wrote a song for her to like let the motor run, go on cruises. She bought a van is kind of what made me think of it. And let the motor run, do your thing. And then the Lean on Shoulder is pretty old. It's probably 3 years old. There's not a lot to that one other than I just saw somebody talking on their phone on the side of the interstate, like not paying attention to the world. And just like, hey, that seems like a good thing to write about. And then what's next? Rolling?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite Robbie Trosper songs ever. So that's, I don't have to let him explain what that's about, but I love that song.
Yeah. And it's your mom bought a van.
Yeah. After it's all over with, she's finally like, I can do whatever I want to. First, she's like, and then she's like, should I buy a van? And I'm like, well, yeah, if it doesn't put you in the poorhouse, go for it. So she did. And she's been out. Well, she went on cruise. Actually, she got back from a cruise in March. Whoa. Like right before things started. So we're like, okay, she had to go quarantine for a while. But yeah, she's been letting it rip. Good for her.
And you can always borrow the van if touring starts happening again.
I don't think she'd do that. I don't think she'd allow that.
I was wondering if you sold her that old V-Roy's van that y'all had for like 2 decades.
Oh yeah, if anybody out there wants to buy a van that needs a transmission and right now won't run, give me a holler.
What can you tell me about the song Bright Spot itself? Like, that's the album title. What's the song?
Well, that actually is pretty old. That almost was on Vanishing South, the record before this one. And it was like, it wasn't completely finished, so that's why it didn't make it then. But I don't write many of these, but it's kind of a love song. So it's kind of to Mandy. I don't know if she's, hey, Mandy. But it's kind of a love song with a weird vibe. In the beginning, I thought it sounded like Jerry Reed. Now it sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like now.
And what about Concrete and Stone? I know that like the first couple of tunes you sort of like leaked out were Let the Motor Run and Concrete and Stone. Well, why Concrete and Stone? Why? How did it get the go-to, for one of the early releasers?
Honestly, because we had more video footage of that song than we had any other ones. I mean, that's really it. So hopefully a video's coming soon of Concrete and Stone. But that was really the main reason for that one coming out next, because seriously, we can't. It's hard to get together and make any kind of video right now. So it's like we better go ahead and take advantage of the footage we got. You know?
Yeah, well, that leads to the next question is, so you've poured out everything you got in this record. This just to me, this record just sounds like I need to be played live. I need to be that van running down the highway. So what do you do with a record in 2020 when you can't go tour? Are you gonna what kind of playing can you do?
Not really much of anything. I mean, and I'm not a huge fan of, like, you know, I've done a few in my garage, just live stream, just playing acoustic of this particular record for sure. Now, the only thing we got the Bijou show coming up November 6th. And after that, as far as live playing goes, I don't think there really is much to do. Unless a lot of venues start doing what the Bijou is about to do. So, I mean, we'll see.
So what can you tell me about then it's like you're putting all the cards on the table and putting the big stack of chips on this November gig, I guess, because this is the one. Tell me about this Bijou gig. How's it going to work?
Well, it's actually, I watched Trisha Jean Brady this past Friday, and it was great. I mean, it looks cool. They had some good camera angles. There's a live audience in there. It's not many. I mean, you know, that place holds 750 or something like that. I think they might sell 30 or 40 tickets. So you basically got your own section. So, you know, it's totally safe as far as that goes. And yeah, we're going to start. Ours will be November 6th, not this Friday, but next Friday. And you get tickets at, Bijou, the Bijou website. And they also have live tickets on that. And then they also have live streaming tickets. So that's going to be cool. That's what I got, live streaming ticket. And, they give you an alert, show's about to start, watch the show. And if you want to watch it again, for 2 more days, you got it. So I think it's a great idea. I mean, at least there's some kind of like live physical people in the crowd music going on. So I think it's going to be great. But like you say, I'm all in.
Yeah. So if people are wanting to catch Mick Harrison and the High Score playing new music from Bright Spot, November 6th is your choice, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. And, there's several different, I would go to mickharrison.com and all the information on how to get a real ticket. I mean, they're all real tickets, or a virtual ticket. Go to mickharrison.com, and evidently I'll explain it all to you on that.
Excellent. Yeah. And can you talk about playing the Bijou? Do you remember the very first time you ever played there?
The very first time? No. They're kind of jumbled up, but oh my God, I don't even remember. It's been a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
When was the last time we played there? I don't even know when the last time we played there, because I mean, I've been on that stage a lot. I love that stage. I love the crew. I love that. Just love the building. But like I say, particular dates and stuff, that's a little foggy.
Yeah, but the vibe, talk about the vibe of the thing. But to me, the vibe of playing the Bijou is like no other spot. And if I see, or I find out, even if I'm going up there and just sitting in with somebody for a tune or something, I'm like, that's like one of those things you put on the calendar. They're like, oh, this is a bright spot. This is a happy thing.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad time playing there or going to a show there.
Me either. I mean, always. And, number one, it always sounds awesome no matter where you're standing. If you're standing up in the top or if you're standing on the side stage, it always sounds great. And like you say, I mean, it's just being in that room makes you feel like, oh, man, I should be playing these all over the country. This place is awesome.
Where's the Bijou in Murfreesboro? Because I want to play that one.
Well, they don't have one.
No, they don't. And they really don't have them in some bigger cities, a place that, they're historic theaters all over the country. But for me, the Bijou, the size of it and the vibe of it it's just perfect.
It is. And I'm so glad that Tom I'm pretty sure it's Tom's brainchild that came up with like, let's just try to do something, and doing it safe for darn sure. But so yeah, and hopefully this will keep on rolling. I mean, I know they've got even after our show, I know they got 2 more on deck. Sam Bush is one of them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, if it keeps on rolling, I think it's going to build up to be something really cool.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, Mick Harrison, man, it's kind of hilarious because for those listening or watching this, we live about a block away from each other.
Yeah, that's true. We do. I can almost no, I can't throw a rock and hit your house, but I can roll a ball almost to your house.
You can roll a ball. You can throw a rock and see where it lands. It might hit
Probably.
That loud dog or whatever.
It probably hit the end of my driveway.
Yeah, but it is kind of strange. You're like a block away and we're Zooming, but we are being careful and safe.
That's right. That's number one thing to do. Safe.
Yeah, and it's nice. I did an interview recently where I wore a mask, and the sound is weird. So,
well, and if like a lot of people are about half deaf like me, I gotta kind of see your lips move, or I'm like, what? What did you say?
Sonny, what's that about, vibe?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, November 6th, Mick Harrison, the high score at the Bijou. The new record is called Bright Spot. And I got to say, the aptly named Bright Spot because we need a rock and roll record right about now. And there it is.
Well, dadgummit, that's when we're doing it. And that's when you can purchase it is November 6th. That's when it'll be out in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's the official release date.
Yeah, we're going to, like you said, I'm all in. One day. Goodbye.
All right, Mick Harrison. Thanks, Todd. We'll see you in the van.
Yes.